All right, you're live on Nigeria's Talk Sports program, Talk Sports on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodi. Welcome to today's edition that promises to be very revealing as we're going to put you in the spotlight of all the big stories making the rounds in the exciting world of sport from Nigeria to Europe. Especially today is a very exciting day, talking about the 14th day of June 2024. Is a Euros kick-starting today, and the Germans and the Scots will be in action to kick-start the Euros 2024. And there's a big opening for people who got interest in some things that we'll be unveiling to you in the course of the program. But let's begin from the glass house, talking about the Nigerian Football Federation. And that's where the big story is, that the Executive Committee of Nigerian Football Federation held a meeting on Wednesday, 12 June 2024, in a hybrid mood to deliberate on important issues in Nigeria's football and resolve as follows. And the man who is going to be doing us the task of breaking down the resolutions at this hybrid meeting that took place at the Glass House, talking about the Nigerian Football Federation. After the Super Eagles were not able to win any match, after 4 games, we had 3 draws and 1 loss. It meant that the Minister of Sport, John Eno, held an emergency meeting with the Football House. And fast forward, the NFF also did have to hold its own meeting yesterday. And so we'll be drawing out the resolutions. And one man, his task this morning is to break down the resolution of the Football House. His other person was Samuel Odi, who is looking like he is obviously from the southeast, and we're calling him Chief
Odi.
Okay.
Chief Odi.
Okay. Can you hear his voice? Okay, we've got Odi Samuel in the studio here to break down all the resolutions. Nice to have you looking like the chief
It's
that you're supposed to be.
I'm actually okay. I've totally not gotten the title yet, but
so
in the making.
Okay. All
Yes.
right, so how excited are you today? It's big in the world of football. The Euros are kick-starting today, and we've got one of the big stories that says German police's cage monkey rather than drink alcohol as Euros kick-starts today.
It's a very big story, and it's an exciting one for a whole lot of persons. You know, some people in Nigeria and some outside Nigeria, and I know, yeah, across the globe. So majorly now, you know, the Germans have this beer factor, and I figure from study and research, they figured out that okay, lots of alcohol in the system, I think, tend to make them misbehave.
Especially because they were focusing on the English fans.
English fans, yes. So now they are just okay. A lot of studies. That's why those in the Western world, they just try to look for a way around everything. They were like, okay, don't do this because this is going to like make you react in a certain way, and then using this other maybe substance,
cannabis.
Cannabis, yes, using cannabis might then help them take rather than take alcohol. So maybe I'm sure science and has proven it, and a lot and cannabis itself has some medicinal values and all of that. Science has also proven that. So I think it's a good one for them to adopt instead of taking away beer from them and then it's going to be a problem. So they took away beer and they are offering them something else.
All right, so we'll be looking at that closely as a Euros kick starts in Germany today. It's going to be Scotland against Germany. We know we've not gotten into the foreign scene, but Germany, Scotland. That's like the Scot army, the Tantan army versus the German machine.
Yeah, just like maybe, the movie Vikings, when the English people are fighting the German people. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but
what's
you should.
Expectations for today's
so the battle now is going to be a very close one. I know because Scotland now they perform well, but most of the times they tend to all of these big countries tend to see them as an underdog in terms of playing. So where the Germans would make a mistake is when they tend to see the Scottish guys as an underdog, and then that's in that note on they'll get punished. But for me, I'm rooting for Ghana, Germany, because of their squad, their firepower, their attacking spirit, because they play German football, which is massive attack and massive defense. So teams that play like that tends to win matches. But I'm looking at it from another angle, that there might be a chance that Scotland, yes, for an upset.
All right, so we'll be looking keenly to that battle. We'll talk about that extensively in the course of the program, where the German machines will be facing the Titan Army. Talking about the Scottish national team, they've got Scott McTominay of Manchester United in their team. They've got Gil Bellimore of former Chelsea, but now he's also still doing great things. They've got very great squad with their coach Clark, who says they're not going to show any sign of fear against the German machines. All right, but let's begin from home sweet home, where the big story tells us that the communique of the meeting of the Nigerian Football Federation Executive Committee held in a hybrid mode on Wednesday, 12 June 2024, tells us that the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation held on Wednesday to deliberate on important issues in Nigerian football and resolve as follows. So these are the resolutions. The Executive Committee wholeheartedly apologized to Nigerians for the dismal output and subsequent very poor returns of the senior men's national team, the Super Eagles, in 4 out of 10 matches in the ongoing qualification series for the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals, and pledged to work assiduously and put necessary measures in place to ensure a better prepared squad ahead of the AFCON 2025 qualifiers in September this year, and also the resumption of the World Cup qualifiers in March 2025. Let's begin one after the other. First of all, they apologize to Nigerians, and they're showing they're going to work hard to ensure. How do you see this first point of the communique?
Well, apology, it's just like...
Is it accepted?
They've apologized. There's nothing we can do about it. It's either, excuse me, we accept it or we don't.
Can we accept it now, or we can say we hold on until the next group of matches, and when we see better performance, then we know they're truly sorry?
That's the angle that I was actually going to get to, because one, they've apologized. Then if you're apologizing, that means you shouldn't repeat the same thing. You should do something different, like, okay, yeah, you're truly sorry for what you did, and then no winning matches while you have all the support on every equipment you need, financial and all of that. So at this point now, this approach is actually very good, but what happens after the apology? Would you go and repeat the same thing, or you will go and get results? Now the chance is very, very slim for Nigeria to qualify.
All right, let's move forward to the communique from the Nigerian Football Federation yesterday. They said in the second point of the communique, further to section communique 1, above, the Executive Committee resolved to employ an expatriate technical advisor for the Super Eagles in the coming weeks ahead of the AFCON qualifiers and the remaining FIFA World Cup qualifying matches. The third one says, still further to number 1 communique above, the committee resolved to beef up the Nigerian Football Federation technical department with more qualitative hands. Equally, the technical and development subcommittee will be rejigged with immediate effect. The fourth communique says, notwithstanding the challenges that attended the team's preparations for the Day 3 and Day 4 games of the FIFA World Cup qualifying matches owing to the 38-hour nationwide industrial action, the board expressed displeasure with the poor attitude of some players to the national assignment and unanimously decided in favor of more robust scouting program of outstanding Nigeria-eligible players from across the 4 corners of the universe who can add tremendous value to the nation's flagship team. Okay, let's look at this. 2 things in one. They're going to get an expatriate coach, so that indirectly, Finidi George is being sacked or demoted. The second, there's going to be the strike action. We remember that 8 players said they were stranded in Lagos and Abuja respectively. The big question at that time was, couldn't they go by bus or chartered cars. Suddenly, are they no longer Nigerians that can travel by road? So that was a big question, even though we know that insecurity was another factor the players might have looked at. But remember Samuel Okwaraji, who died on the 12th of August 1989, played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He gave everything. He was an example of a committed player. For these two things, and the fact that this NFF has said they're going to expand the scope of getting players into the team, technically, does it mean we're not going to see more players from even Australia down under, from Saudi Arabia, and from other teams that we've never heard coming to the national team? And does it mean it's time over for some players in the national team?
One, is it time over for some players in the national team? Yes, I agree with that, because there are some players that have been there, you know, you've done your own quota during your own time, so give room for other persons. Now, increasing the status quo to get more players, I feel, one, you need to not just bring any kind of person, but bring someone that is doing well and then that has results. You know, that has results, that you've seen proof that, yes,
we're talking about
this person,
committed players.
yes, not just players who can play. You can play and then you're not committed. So you wouldn't, even if you win or you lose, you don't care, as far as you get to the pitch and you as an individual gets to shine. So that part now, it's another angle that they need to look at. So if they want to do all of that, we are definitely going to be needing players with track records of, you know, yes, this person have played here, I've done this and done that. So I feel the NFF, this angles now about players and playing and all of that should be looked into. About Finidi George now, we are not certain if he's going to be fired or if he's going to be demoted. But an expected coach is coming. For me, it's good news, because one, I feel Finidi George doesn't have everything needed, you know, every trick needed in the back for him to, you know, lead a team like the Super Eagles, because you have a whole lot of big players, big squad, big names, people that are starting for their club side in Europe and in England. So maybe he still needs a little more of knowledge, so he can be able to carry on this team and then play good formations and then make good changes, start the right persons that you need to start in certain positions, so you can be able to win the match. So at this point now, getting a technical advisor and all of that, I think it's going to be good for Super Eagles at this point, because now we have AFCON qualifiers ahead and we still have a chance, hopefully, to qualify for the World Cup. So if they can get this person now quickly, and then for them to be mentioning that, that means they already have someone in mind. So if they can get the person fast and quick, so at this point now, let's just, you know, salvage the little moment we have and see if we can make it through to the World Cup, because it's not going to be telling so well if, you know, back to back we didn't qualify for the World Cup, the under-23 team didn't qualify, and also under-17 didn't qualify. So the men's football, it's going through some roller coasters, and then at this point now, we really need to do everything possible. All hands needs to be on deck for us to be able to get to the World Cup and at least perform. We are the giants of Africa, for crying out loud.
All right, and let's go to the fifth of the communique of the NFF. The Executive Committee also resolved that the Stakeholders Forum be convened in a few weeks' time to deliberate on amendment of the current NFF statutes in conjunction with the World Football Governing Body, FIFA. And also the sixth one says, while appreciating the fact that preparation for teams involved in the Olympic Games falls squarely within the purview of the Federal Ministry of Sports Development, the Executive Committee stated unequivocally that it will provide robust support within the room allowed to the senior women's national team, the Super Falcons, to adequately prepare for this year's Women's Olympic Football Tournament taking place in France from the 24th of July to the 11th of August. And on the 6th communique, it says in order to ensure an impressive performance of the under-20 women's national team, the Falconettes, this year's FIFA Under-20 World Cup, Women's World Cup finals in Colombia, which starts from the 31st of August to the 22nd of September, the Executive Committee mandated its Technical and Development Subcommittee to diligently and swiftly consider the program submitted by the head coach for the team's preparation. The board approved a week, approved a 2-phase campaign for the team, with a 4-week campaign in Nigeria to be followed by a 2-week final campaign program in Colombia before the commencement of the tournament. So let's quickly look at those issues about the status of the NFF to amend it to suit global standard, and also the fact that in as much as it falls on the purview of the Ministry of Sports to take care of the Falcons as they get set for the Olympics, the NFF would be contributing their quota to ensure the Super Falcons prepare adequately, and also for the Women's World Cup taking place in Colombia. There's going to be a 2-phase training program, 4 weeks in Nigeria, 2 weeks in Colombia.
I think this is, yes, the NFF had to also contribute their quota to be able to see that all of these things, these players get themselves ready. So timing is another thing. Early preparation matters a lot. So those are something that they always need to put into consideration, because most of the times the challenges we suffer or the teams suffer is late preparation and not having adequate material, equipment for them to train. So all of these angles now need to be taken care of. Prepare early, and then since they'll be going to Colombia and every other part to play these games, and as well camp for a few weeks, I think they need to have partnership and all of that, so that all of these angles will be covered, and then we won't be having challenges, or the players would say due to some XYZ reasons, that's the reason why we couldn't perform. And looking at the main football team, when they got stranded in Uyo, you made mention of looking at insecurity and kidnapping that's happening on the highway. They might say they are coming from a very long flight, and there's no how they are going to embark on a road journey again. But given the fact that these guys are coming on this side, the NFF and the sports minister needed to have done something, or probably provided these guys with private jets. So once they are landing, despite strike or no strike, they can be able to find their way down to the stadium, prepare, and get themselves ready. So all of these things, although it's a day and a half, not totally 2 days, but I don't think it should have been a massive reason why we saw all of these poor performances.
All right, let's go to the seventh point of the communique reached by the Nigerian Football Federation in yesterday's hybrid meeting. Impressed by the performance of the Under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, so far in their FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup African Qualification Series, the Executive Committee charged the Secretariat to ensure total readiness of the team for its final leg, a counter against Liberian counterpart scheduled for the MKO Abiola National Stadium on Friday. That's today. The stadium will urge Nigerians to go out there and support the Flamingos as they get set to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. So the Flamingos will be in action today. Go out there with your green, white, green jersey, support the Flamingos to qualify for the World Cup, Under-17 World Cup. All right, let's just let you know those who were in the attendance in the meeting yesterday. We had Ibrahim Musa Gusau, who is the president of the Nigerian Football Federation. We had Felix Anya Siago, the first vice president. We had Benga Legbeleye, who is the second vice president. We had Yusuf Ahmed, who is a member of the NFF. We had Babangana Kali, also a member. We had Sherif Rabiu Inua, who is a member of the NFF, was also at the meeting. Sunday Dele Ajayi was at the meeting. Aisha Folade, the female member of the Nigerian Football Federation, was there. Ganiyu Makanju Domi was there. We had ACN, a member, was also there. Margaret Ichin was there. Timothy Herman Magaji was also at the meeting. Silas Agara was also at that meeting. Likewise, George Alo Nkechi Neka Obi, she was also there at the meeting. We had Mohammed Sanusi, who is the secretary of the Nigerian Football Federation, was also at the meeting yesterday. All right, let's move on to the next talking point. We've got the NFF president talking. NFF president is next on our news this morning as the president of Nigeria Football Federation. Ibrahim Gusau insists the Super Eagles will make it to the 2026 World Cup in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, despite their uninspiring run in the qualifying series. Gusau said this on Thursday after the emergency meeting with the sports minister, John Eno, who summoned the NFF to submit a technical report on the matches. After 4 rounds of matches, Nigeria are 5th in Group C with 3 points and 3 leaders, Rwanda, South Africa, and Benin Republic by 4 points each, while Lesotho also sit above them with a 2-point gap. In their latest matches in the series, they were held 1-1 by South Africa Africa in Uyo last Friday before suffering a 2-1 defeat against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic in Abidjan. Yes, the Cheetahs adopted home ground. The latest result forced the Minister of Sport Development, John Eno, to summon the Nigerian Football Federation and coach Finidi George to submit a technical report on the matches arising from the meeting, which was said to have lasted about 3 hours, with the minister Guso addressed journalists but failed to comment on the fate of coach Finidi George in the heat of the latest result. While the draws for the 2025 AFCON will also be made next month, Guso added that the body's move will begin to yield results from the AFCON qualifiers, which begin in September. Let's look at the NFF president still assuring Nigerians the Super Eagles will be at the World Cup.
You know, we just hope, because it's really a slim chance, because we are looking at the table.
We have to win. We're condemned to win the
4 straight matches.
The six left matches.
So that's a lot of pressure. Home away. That's a lot of pressure. If we can get to do that, that's a lot of pressure on these guys, because then Finidi George was Wilfred Ndidi was saying they are under pressure because players didn't come.
This is the real pressure.
Now this is the real pressure. 6 matches straight. He plays professionally in England, so he knows what it is to win 6 straight matches. Do we have the capacity? Do we have the qualities? Yes, we have the players who can do this. But can Mr. Finidi George now manage these guys well for them to be able to win these games?
All right,
that's a very big question.
Finidi George will not be the man at the helm of affairs, like the NFF has promised. They're going to get us an expatriate to tinker with the Super Eagles of Nigeria so that we can be at the World Cup proper. Let's move on to the next big story. We're talking the Flamingos. We're going to be in action today at the MKO Abiola Stadium right here in the Federal Capital Territory. We urge you all to go to the National Stadium this evening, support your darling flying Flamingos. Let's tell you that head coach Bankole is confident that the Nigerian under-17 girls, the Flamingos, will not take their feet off the pedal when they take on their Liberian counterpart in the FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup qualifying match in Abuja on Friday. Nigeria won the first leg 4-1 in Monrovia on Sunday with 11-goal qualifying series revelation Harmony Chidi, Sekirat Moshood and Peace Effiong, and substitute Blessing Ifetuzu banging in the goals for the Flamingos. There's a very interesting thing about the Flamingos. We've got one from the north, we've got one from the south, we've got one from the east. We just got them all lined up, all goal scorers. The host got their consolation goal off a penalty awarded with 5 minutes left of the counter at the Samuel Dose Sports Complex in Liberia. The Flamingos will take part in the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup for the 7th time. Once they cross Friday's hurdle, they featured at the inaugural edition in New Zealand in 2008 and subsequently in Trinidad and Tobago in 2010, Azerbaijan in 2012, Costa Rica in 2014, Jordan in 2016, India in 2022, where they won the bronze medals. Are you confident if Flamingos are going to qualify?
Yeah, with their result track record so far and the way they've been playing, they've not even beaten any team.
The first leg they won 4-1.
They've not beaten. Yes, they've not beaten any team anything less than 4. The list was 4. Then they started upgrading to 5, 6, 7. So going on like this, come on, they are definitely going to qualify. And then we're hoping when they qualify, they tend to play and then get deep into the competition and hopefully winning gold medal.
All right, we're wishing the best for the Flamingos today. Go out there and support our darling Flamingos under-17 female national team in action. Second leg, final qualifier to get to the World Cup proper. All right, we've got Azizat Oshoala, one of the finest female footballers in the African continent, is on the news this morning. Let's tell you that Super Falcons striker Azizat Oshoala is confident Nigeria can end the women's football event of the forthcoming 2024 Olympics with a podium finish. Yes, the Falcons last appeared at the Olympics in Beijing 16 years ago and booked their qualification at this year's tournament in Paris after a 1-0 aggregate victory over South Africa in the final round of the qualification in April. Randy Wardrum's side have been handed one of the toughest draws imaginable at the Paris 2024, where they will take on Brazil, Japan, Spain in Group C, dubbed the Group of Death. On paper, at least appear on the surface an uphill battle to reach the knockout stage, but all of Nigeria's opponents are in the top 10 of the FIFA Coca-Cola Women's World Cup ranking, with the African side currently placed 36th in the world. Speaking about the tough challenge in an interview with FIFA, Oshoala was confident about Nigeria's chances of returning home with a medal. Oshoala, a modern-day women's football icon, has starred for club and country on some of the game's greatest stages. The Nigerian striker has lit up the FIFA Women's World Cup matches, the UEFA Champions League finals, and helped fire her team to the multiple trophy successes. Despite her numerous achievements, the record 6-time Women's African Player of the Year is yet to showcase her talent at the Women's Olympic Soccer Tournament, but that's all set to change in Paris 2024. Oshoala will strive to lead from the front during Nigeria's Olympic campaign, and she believes the team's relentlessness, energy makes them a force to reckon with. Do you agree with Aziza?
100%, yes, I agree with them, because this is over a decade now, and she hasn't been there. Some the young players from the squad have not been there, so definitely they are all going to fight and then do everything possible for them to get there. Though they are there already to finish deep into the competition. Now she's very confident and then cheering her teammates to let them know that yes, we need to get to the finals and then get to win the match. So this is what she's all about. She's updating and then boosting her teammates, encouraging them to get their acts together, and then so they can be able to win these matches. So this is very, very good. So now it boils down to the NFF and the Ministry of Sport to start up early preparation for them.
Some say Azizat is jinxed. Do you believe that Azizat Oshoala is jinxed?
What does jinx mean?
Like she's meant not to succeed when it comes to in the national team and on the biggest stage, because she has done that for Barcelona and her previous teams.
Yeah. So she's actually doing well, though most of the time she comes off the bench when she's playing with the Super Falcons. So I think
for someone who plays for Barcelona, who scores great goals in the Champions League, she should be able to start matches for the Super Falcons.
Most times it boils down to the style of play, and then the idea of how the coach wants to drive the game. All of those matters. I guess that's the reason why he feels, or the coach have seen her and he feels maybe her firepower comes more during the second half. So he decides to just, rest her and then play her in the second half. So he would have her on 100% for her to carry through. So playing in Barcelona as well, most of the time she starts the game and tends to score great goals. So we are hoping that the same thing happens. The Super Falcons team squad have a whole lot of amazing strikers. So probably the coach will just want, to switch it up and mix it up for a bit, and then play different strikers and see who would probably be his number one woman to always strike for the Super Eagles.
All right, we'll be expecting Azizat Oshoala to set the stage on fire with her great goals as the Super Falcons goes to the Olympic, trying to win a medal, try to replicate what the 1996 team, the dream team of the male team, did by winning Brazil, Argentina to the gold medal at the Olympics. So we wish our darling Super Falcons the very best of luck. All right, let's move on to one player. His name Olorunleke, who dumps Eyimba for Al Merrikh. Yes, that's the big story this morning. Super Eagles goalkeeper Ojo Olorunleke has completed a move to Sudanese giant Al Merrikh Omdurman from reigning Nigerian Premier League champions Eyimba of Aba. Olorunleke joined the Red Devils on a 2-year contract, but will see out the current campaign with Eyimba, a source at the Aba club has revealed. Eyimba currently third in the NPFL with their last 2 matches of the season against Sporting Lagos away and Plateau United at home. Olorunleke established himself as a force to be reckoned with the NPFL side while playing for Eyimba, leading to the People's Elephant to record a 9th title last season. The Kogi-born goalkeeper joined Eyimba in 2021 from Abia Warriors. He also featured for Sunshine Stars of Akure, Giwa United and Aqua United. Olorunleke was part of the Joseph Pesero squad that won the silver at the 2023 34th edition of the African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast last February, and was founded in 1909 1908 Al Mariq of Sudan are one of the oldest football clubs in Africa. They have won the Sudanese Premier League title 22 times and the Sudanese Cup 26 times. Their last league title was in the 2019-2020 season and were second in the 2022-2023 season before the league was disrupted by the civil war. Due to the civil war which broke out in Sudan, there has been no league football since the end of the 2022-2023 season, and that has seen clubs like Al Hilal switch to the Tanzanian League ahead of next season. All right, let's move into the foreign scene. This is the big story now. We're talking about German police. That's the story we're taking next. The German police is in the news this morning as Euros 2024 kickstarts. Let's tell you that the German police have issued a warning to English fans ahead of the Euros and encouraged them to smoke cannabis instead of drinking alcohol, according to reports. Mail Sport reviewed earlier in the week that the German police force has demanded the Veltins Arena serve 3 Lions fans low alcohol beer ahead of their opening game with Serbia. They are concerned that both the English and Serbian fans could cause issues in the round at the stadium. All right, talking about the Sun have now revealed that the police also would prefer England fans to smoke cannabis than drink, as it would make them calmer and chilled out. Calmer and chilled out. On April 1st, earlier this year, we've got German joined the list of legalized cannabis for personal use. The country's parliament passed a law that will legalize the cultivation and consumption of a limited amount of the drug. The decision was made in an effort to regulate the behavior of the 4.5 million Germans who are estimated to use it, cultivating up to three plants for private consumption and owing up to 25 grams of cannabis has been legalized. However, fans will be prohibited from smoking cannabis inside the 62,000-seat Veltins Arena and will be prevented from lighting up in the fan zones. Fans have also been asked to refrain from smoking weed in bars or city squares during the Euros this summer. It is expected that around 40,000 English fans will travel to support Gareth Southgate's side, with only around 5,000 to 8,000 Serbian fans set to travel to Germany. All right, I think security measures being taken for Euros that are starting.
Yeah, security measures being taken, and they are just doing everything possible for this competition to be peaceful tournament. So they are doing whatever it takes to just make sure that everybody stays calm, whether you're winning or you're losing, you're still calm. So, like they said, the amount of beer you take makes you, hyped, but cannabis and all helps you relax. So it makes you chill and chilled out. So I guess that's the from study that they might have, on researches that they might have made. So they feel this is the right way to follow. And then the fans now reacting positively from the images we saw, that they are going to adapt to that. And again, the fact that the committee made it possible for people not to smoke in public areas and light up within the stadium is also good, because
there are some other fans who are not game with it. So.
Yes, it's not everybody that would be able to do it because of some probably health challenges and all. So they will not, do that. So it's best smoke up before you come to the stadium, so you just stay all chilled out, and whatever happens, you're still good.
All right, so it's Euro 2024 is upon us. Tonight is going to be the big battle between the German machines and the Titan Army from Scotland. So it's going to be a big one. And the German, we've got the Scottish coach already talking this morning on Talk Sports. Let's tell you that Steve Clarke insists Scotland are ready to face Germany in Friday night's Euro 2024 curtain raiser and will approach the game with no fear. The Titan Army have flocked to the Munich to soak up the atmosphere as Clarke's team bid to make history by becoming the first Scotland side to reach the knockout stages of a major international tournament. Germany are strong favourite, however, to end a wretched run of 3 successful tournaments without winning their opening game. Reporting a clean bill of health in his squad, Clarke vowed to respect the 3-time champions of Europe, but emitted a quiet air of confidence that his team can take something at the Allianz Arena. The streets around Munich were thronged with hordes of the Titan Army on Thursday night. thousands have traveled without tickets to sample the atmosphere and revel in their national team taking center stage on the opening night of Euro 2024. Despite injury concerns over Andrew Robertson of Liverpool and striker Lawrence Shakland, earlier this week, Clark reported a clean bill of health for his team. Meanwhile, Captain Andy Robertson of Liverpool claims that Scotland are being driven by the prospect of becoming legends. Scotland have never been beyond the group stage of any of their 3 previous Euros and the 8 World Cups. It looks like the Titan armies are all fired up.
Yes, this is all you need to before.
And how dangerous is it when an underdog is so fired up?
Is a problem. You know, like I said, most of the times big country sides that seems now tend to underrate the underdogs. So now any team that is going to like make that mistake, these are like new this is a new era for most of these players. They are young, they are doing so well. So now
and the coach is also fired.
The coach is also fired up, and then mentally they are fired up. Mentally they've won the match.
Yeah,
now they believe they can. Having that mentality going into a game, then if you are not ready for them and you feel it's just going to be a walk in the park, it will shock you.
All right, that could shock you. All right, we're still staying in Germany. That's where the action is. Let's take you to Borussia Dortmund, where Borussia Dortmund defender Mats Hummels has broken his silence just hours after Edin Terzic quit as the club's manager. Media report of a bust-up with the centre-back report emerged on Thursday morning that Hummels and Terzic had a violent confrontation ahead of the Champions League final earlier this month. After Hummels criticized the manager's tactics in big games, they put their differences aside for the showpiece event at Wembley, which Dortmund lost 2-0 to Real Madrid. But after meeting with the club chiefs on Thursday, Terzic decided to walk away just minutes after news of his dispute with Hummels had been made public. Hummels took to the Instagram on Thursday evening to offer his thoughts on the day's event, as he posted a photo of himself with a bemused expression alongside a cryptic caption summarizing today will be challenged for me too. Hummels is out of a contract himself this summer, and German outlet Bild has reported his deal will not be extended, meaning he is also set to follow Terzic out of the exit door. Do you think this is one of the things that led them to lose against Real Madrid at the Champions League final? The fact that the captain of the team and the coach had a very heated confrontation just hours to the finals.
You know, all of that now hours to the finals. Maybe they were probably disagreeing on maybe the tactics. Yes. So I think if the coach insisted on what he wanted to do, and then that led to them losing, automatically, you know, both of them, they're all men, and then they might have egos, and then they might not want to work together, and then it's played a factor that they lost, and then everything because now, the whole team will be supporting the captain, some players, so it's a divided team already, so there is no how you can go and win against a team like, you know, Real Madrid that are together, even if they had a good run for the first, you know, let me say for the first 45 minutes, let me give them the first 45 minutes, they had, you know, chances to score, you know, despite the tactics, but it didn't just work out. Maybe they went back to the locker room, and then after the first half, it was just as if they left their legs at home and then they wanted to play. Then Real Madrid took over and then netted 2 goals in the second half. So this is just what it is with this guy. So if he feels he can't work, it's just like the case of Sancho now and Erik ten Hag. You know, Erik ten Hag asking him to apologize, and he is saying he wouldn't want to apologize. So all of these things now, we always mention on this show, the relationship between the coaches and the players contributes more for you to be able to win. Just like it's very, very simple. Just like what happened between Manchester United and Manchester City. Manchester United were not only playing for themselves; they were not just playing to win, but they were also fighting. You could see that they were also fighting for the coach at that point. So this is what you get. This is the results you get if, you know, players and the coach are in a good book. Look at Arsenal, for instance. So even if the fact that Arsenal is like a series that we always watch out for next season, they are always united, and then the players and the coach are always together. So it plays a very, very massive role if team players, technical crew, and coaches are all on the same page. That team will keep winning. Even if they don't get to win, they'll still come back in the next match and then perform better for their individual selves.
All right, well said. Let's also let you know that Terzic and also Hummels, this will be the second departure from Dortmund, having also left the club in 2016 after 8 years at the club before returning a second spell in 2019. It is understood that Hummels is open to a move abroad, with Serie A giant Roma and AC Milan both showing interest in the 35-year-old. Italian newspaper Corriere dello Sport claims that Roma would be willing to offer the veteran defender a 2-year contract with an option of further 12 months. Hummels' relationship with Terzic is believed to have deteriorated quickly after he gave an explosive interview prior to the Champions League final. All right, let's move on to the next big story. Yes, Serbia vows to exploit England's flaws when they meet on Sunday, but one man is talking tough. His name, Harry Kane. Yes, we're talking about Harry Kane this morning. Harry Kane has warned England that Euro 2024 opponent Serbia are capable of causing a huge upset this Sunday. The national team faces the Serbs in their first game of the tournament in Germany this week. In the match, England are expected to win. There was good news on Thursday as John Stones returned to training, recovering from a sickness bug that saw him quarantined on Tuesday. Amid hope he will be fitted to start the game. Stone's potential presence will be vital given the omission from the squad of Harry Maguire due to injury. Maguire's area power has been crucial for England over the previous 3 tournaments, and his absence arrived as a blow. Indeed, Kane has warned that Serbia's ability in the air can cause England major problems on Sunday. Meanwhile, Serbia defender Stranjar Pavlovic insists his team will go for the jugular against England. All right, let's look at England, Serbia. How do you see that game playing out?
It's going to be difficult because from the defeat that England suffered, that was when Harry Kane started clamoring and calling for the England squad to, not to see anything as an underdog. This is good, and this is a very good act of leadership. Letting the younger guys know that this is not going to be a walk in the park. These guys are also going to come out to win. So at the end of the day, it boils down to all of them bringing out their hearts to play. The defender of the Serbian side is now saying that talking tough, and then saying that they are going to do what they are going to do, and then they are looking to clinch a win from that match. So it's going to, I just like the way all of this is playing out, because Germany getting set and with security terms and all for the match to go smoothly, and now both sides now are talking tough that nobody is going to back down for the other. So this is what the competition is all about. This is what Euro is all about, how tough and how intense the competition is and how physical it is. So I can't just wait for the kickoff, and also to go support the Flamingos later tonight.
All right, that's the big one today in Abuja. It's going to be the Flamingos of Nigeria, talking about the under-17 team trying to qualify for the World Cup. They will be facing the Liberian counterpart after winning Morovia 4-1. They are at the MKO Abiola Stadium today. Let's go support the Flamingos to whip the Liberians silly today so that they can qualify for the World Cup proper. And it's Euros upon us tonight. It's going to be Germany Machines versus the Tartan Army of Scotland. It's going to be a big matchup tonight in Euros. So make sure you're out there to enjoy the feast of football today, starting from the Flamingos, who will be in action this evening, 4 p.m. Hopefully, it's going to be the kickoff time when the Flamingos take on their Moravian counterpart, and hopefully we'll be qualifying for the World Cup proper. And for Euros, it's upon us. German Machines versus Scotland is the big game. So that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program. But let you be known to you that the Super Eagles will be getting a new coach very soon, expatriate, according to the Nigerian Football Federation. And so we're hoping to see who do you think is likely to get the shot as the new coach of the Super Eagles.
They've always wanted a foreign coach. They just went with what Nigerians want, what everybody has been clamoring for, a local coach. So now I know they might just, go for someone from one of the many CVs that they got. They'll probably review it again and then maybe pick out someone, but right now I'm not certain. No one is coming to mind.
All right, so we're hoping eagerly to hear from the Nigerian Football Federation. Who's going to be the next coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria is a big talking point. But remember, 4 p.m. go out there at the MK Abiola National Stadium right in the Federal Capital Territory. Watch the Flamingos as they qualify for the World Cup against Liberia. Go support them. And at night is going to be Scotland taking on Germany as Euros kick off 2024 starts tonight. My name is Anthony Momodu, the King of Sports, saying thank you for joining us on today's edition. And the man who does the analysis with so much flair,
yes,
Samuel Odi, he says he's a chief now, but we're waiting for the red cap to be bestowed upon him. All right, so good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.